put it back to 0. See? I killed them in one hit. Double kill. Hit that ass. Hit that ass. Alright, and it's gonna work on all the enemy types, because they're different than us. Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video we're gonna be making a one-hit kill mod in Dark Souls Remastered, and also we'll get infinite health for the player character, so we'll have two mods in one. So before I start, I'm just gonna tell you that I will go in details for the registers and how the game works and cheat engine works. So if you're not interested in cheating, hacking games, this video is not for you. So let's start. First of all, you wanna find your player character and you find its health. When you find your health, here in most games the instruction that is modifying your health, it's also modifying the enemy's health. So everything that you apply to yourself or apply to the enemy, it will apply to all of the units inside of the game. It doesn't differentiate between you and the characters. So you have to do that. You have to differentiate between yourself and the enemies manually when you code. So the game will not differentiate. If you do one-hit kill on the enemy, it will do it. It will apply the same code to you. So I will teach you how to do that. So first of all, we have to look on what is writing inside of our address. What's the instruction that is writing? And so when we open this window from here, find out what writes to this address, it will show us the instructions that change our current address here. The address which contains our health. So this instruction here, as you can see, it's running in the background. Here, this is the number of times that this instruction is running. So this is not a good instruction to modify, because these instructions that work like this, most of the time they will crash the game. So we don't want to mess with these. We want to find an instruction that is changing our health and staying like that once. Just look at this. When I go to heal, there's another instruction. It's the same instruction. It's almost the same, but the location of them is different. Two different locations. So this means there are different instructions. Alright, so I'll stop that. So how does this instruction work? This instruction is working by reading the code. What's inside the code? Inside the code is move. What are we moving? We're moving something stored inside of this register, inside of this address here. What is this address? This address is our health. This address here, RBX plus 3E8. This here is the same address, and I will show you how that works. So RBX and EAX and ECX, these are all registers, right? So you can think of them as big boxes, right? This is a box here, and this is a box here, and you can put stuff inside of them. This is the this is the address of the box. EBX, they could store addresses, or they could store data, like numbers and integers, or characters, anything. They can store anything, right? So two kinds of data they can store. They can store either addresses or they can store data. So they could contain our health, and they could contain our number here. So RBX has a base address of this 1C0CC8 and so on. So when you take this thing and you add to it 3E8, this will give you this value. When you go to the calculator, let's go to the calculator, and we go to hexadecimal. Okay, these numbers are in hex. So if we copy this RBX, copy that, and then we'll paste it there, and then we will add to it the offset here, 3E8. The zeros on the left are just like the zeros besides the 10. Like, let's say, like, if you put a 0 here, this means nothing. The 0 means nothing. It's just there to organize the program, right? So when you add to it something plus 3E8, 3E, not B8, 3E8, there it is, 3E8, it will equal this. See, it's equal. So this address here, this box is the base box for our character, right? This RBX is just a place in memory, and sometimes it's gonna have this value here. This is our character's box, right? It's gonna have this label, and the enemies will have different labels. It's not gonna have the same numbers here, but it's all inside the RBX big box, right? So when you go inside of the big box here, you will need to find the smaller boxes, which are these offsets. These offsets contain the information that we need. These smaller boxes inside the big box, they will store the information that we need. So how do we use this in our code? Let's see how this works. So we'll go into the disassembler, and then we'll go inside of this. So how do we know that this instruction is accessing our character and the enemy character and all the units inside the game? Here's how. We press on it, right click on it, and then find out what addresses this instruction accesses. And that's a mouthful. Okay, so when I heal, it's gonna give me this value, which is our my health. Okay, our health or my health, right? So when you go and look at the enemies, okay, our health is there. Okay, and then we'll go to the enemies. We'll hit them once. Come on, boy. See, it killed him. As you can see there inside the box, it will show us the enemy health too. Okay, so I'm gonna kill the knight just to demonstrate something. These are different types of enemies, right? The other two are the same type of enemy, but the last one that we have killed is another type. You see, these numbers are popping because the area is loaded. When you exit the shrine, when the music starts again, that means the area is loaded again. So these are the four enemies these are the four addresses that we are caring about here. So the first address here is the player character, and then the one type of enemy. These two are one type of enemy because we killed them together, and then we killed the sword and shield guy, which is this one. So let's go inside of the game, inside the box RBX for all of those here. This is the box RBX. So these all are the box RBX, right? So when you go inside of the box RBX, open dissect data structure. Okay. Alright. This all RBX. See? These all offsets inside of RBX. These are small boxes that contain information, as you can see. So this is our character, this one, first column. The second one is the second enemy. The third one is the third enemy, and so on. So let's change group. Let's put two groups. Let's put the enemies in one group and our character in the other group. Change the group. Okay. All right. So now these three in one group and this one is one group. This is our health, right? This is our what's it called? RBX box for the player. This is for the enemy, and this is for the other enemy and this is the sword and shield guy, right? So see all of these numbers, sometimes they're different, and sometimes they look the same. So we want to look for something that is different between all of those addresses, so we can differentiate between those inside of our cheat. As you saw, this instruction controls all of the health, what's it called, all the units inside the game. So if we apply anything to us, it will apply it to the enemies, and so on. So we need to compare something inside of these boxes, and then we can base these what's it called, comparisons in our cheat. And I will show you why. I will show you how. Let's go into the cheat and see what happens. So when we want to modify an instruction, we want to go inside of here, inside of the disassembler, and when we select the instruction that is changing our health, okay, and then we will go to Tools, Auto Assemble, and then Template, and then AOB Injection, and then we say OK, and then we say OK. So this is the code, right? And here we want to write our code. This is the original code of the game, and this is our code. So I wrote the code beforehand, so let's go and see what happens inside of the code. So now we're gonna, first of all, the game will drop us here. The cheat engine will drop us here. It's not gonna execute the code, the code of the game. It's gonna execute our code first, and then it will go to the what's it called, the other code, because the cheat engine is running from top to bottom, right? So before we go into the original code, we want to compare. If it's the player character, give him maximum health. If it's the enemy character, drop his health to 0. This is the enemy health. As I told you before, this is the health address of the enemy. So we will drop a 0 inside of it, and then they will die when we hit them. So we will compare RBX plus D4. What is RBX plus D4? This is here. The box RBX for the character and for the enemies. Let's go to D4, to the offset D4. There's D4. As you can see, inside of this, the offset D4 for the player is 8. And it's a purple color. So that means these are all different inside of all of these. The purple character indicates that this is difference between the two groups, right? So all of the enemies have 5 inside of them. 5. And then 5. As you can see, inside of the offset D4. And the player only has 8. Only the player that has 8. So when we compare this inside of the cheat here, CMP, it means compare. If this value is inside of this, so cheat engine will go and subtract this from this. What's inside D4? If it's equals 0, if this 8 minus 8 equals to 0, it's gonna ignore this here. If it's not equal to 0, right? If this is equal to 3, like this, 8 minus 5 is equal to 3, right? That will go into this here. Jump not equal, right? If not equal, it's not equal to 8. It's not equal to 0 when they subtract from each other. It will jump to the code, to the normal code, right? And then we modified this. Instead of going to EAX, we just typed 0, and then it will move 0 inside of this enemy health address. Let's go to the enemy health address. Let's see. They are both the same. The player health character and the enemy health character, they are both the same, but they're in a different place in the box RBX. Let's see. Let's go. Where is that? 3E8, 3E8, 3F, 3E8. There it is. See, this is the current health of the player character, 3E8, and then this is the current health of the enemy that we have. What's it called? Fought before. So this is 0 because they are dead because I killed them. And then when you look down here, you will find your what's it called? Your maximum health. If I change this here, it's gonna drop my health to 11. And then when you go, you can see here, this is my maximum health, 534. And then we have 11 to our current health. So now let's bring back this. As you can see inside of the game, it changed. So let's go to the cheat. So when we said that if there is in the offset D4 of the RBX box, there is an 8 here, ignore this and then go to this code. And then we will push EAX. What does push EAX mean? EAX is a register, right? And it's a box. And it has a lot of items inside of it. We want to use this box because we want to store something inside of it, and then we move it into another address, right? So we want to push this box. It means it will preserve all of the contents inside of the box. It will move them away, and then it will put our value that we want to store inside of it. So we will move this thing inside of this EAX box, and then use the EAX box to store our maximum health, which is the offset 3EC. The offset 3EC, which is maximum health. So this will not change. It will always give us the maximum health when the enemy hits us, or anything that changes our health, even the heals. So we will use this inside of this, and it will give us always maximum health. And then we will pop EAX. Popping EAX means that we will bring back EAX and put all of the stuff inside of it, right? And then after that, we will jump. Why do we want to jump? Because we don't want to execute this code. Remember, this is all shared between the enemies, so the characters. So if we don't jump over it, it's gonna give us 0. And this we don't want, right? We want maximum health. So we will jump from here to here, and then it will exit the cheat. So if it's not 8, if it's 5 here, when we compare this here, it will jump to the code. The code is here. It's gonna give the enemy health to 0, and then it will jump to the return here point that will exit inside of the cheat. So this is how the cheat works. Now, let's go inside of the game and see how this works. Okay, let's go and try and kill an enemy. Let's try and kill this guy here. Let's let him hit. Well, see, when I hit him once, he will die. Let him hit me. When he hits me, nothing happens. It will give me my maximum health immediately. But there's another problem. When we load the game, this instruction will run, right? This instruction will run to load the enemy health, right? And then this is applied to us. As you saw, it killed all of the enemies when the area is loaded. So when you go here, when you exit this point here, another area will load inside the game. So when the game loads the area, it's gonna use the code that we have modified. As you can see, it gives us all of the souls from the enemies that are dead. So when you load the area, it's gonna kill all of the enemies. That is not what we want here. This is the problem with coding, right? Sometimes you will do something and you will not know what's happening. So what's happening is the game is running the code, but if it sees that it is not the player character, it's gonna kill all of the enemies immediately when they load. So we want to put them at maximum health first, and then we want to modify the code to when we hit them, then it will kill them, instead of killing them immediately when they load. Let's see how do we do that. Right? Now, we will code the same as the same. It's gonna run the same, but when we jump from here to here, if it is not the player, if it's not equal to 8, it's gonna jump to here, and then it will load the original code. So this will put the enemy's health as normal, right? And then it's gonna compare the what's it called? The maximum health, the current health of the enemy, to their maximum health, 3 EC. And then it's gonna compare 3 E8, which is the current health, to the maximum health. If they're equal, we will go to the return. We will jump out of the cheat. It will not give them 0. But when we change the code, when we change this again, the other time when we hit them once, this will drop their health less than their maximum health, right? So first of all, it will load the health as the maximum health, so the comparison will be true. If the comparison is true, it's gonna ignore this. It's gonna exit out of the cheat and nothing will happen. But when we hit them and lower their current health lower than their maximum health, it's not gonna equal. The comparison will not be equal, right? So we moved this inside of ECX, and then we compared ECX to this. We can't compare them immediately. And then when this condition is not met, it's gonna jump from here to here. It's gonna pop ECX because we didn't. If we jump from here, it's not gonna be able to. All right, and then when we jump, it's gonna give them to 0. So let's enable this code and let's load the area. Kill ourselves. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself. And then when we go here, as you can see, it's not gonna kill all of the enemies at once, because it will load their health to the maximum, and then when we drop it even by 1 damage, it will put it back to 0. See? I killed them in 1 hit. Double kill. Hit that ass. Hit that ass. Alright? And it's gonna work on all the enemy types, because they're different than us. So that is how to code this. This was a long video. I hope I didn't confuse you a lot. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to tune in next time. And if you want any help, you have any question, please post it in the comments. I'll make a video about it, maybe. If you want any requests, I'm free for requests, and that's all. I hope you have a wonderful day, and peace.